Hi, and welcome back to They Say It Takes a Village. Before we get started on today's episode, I just wanted to take the opportunity and say a massive thank you and give Wear That Now a huge shout out, particularly my girl Christelle for dressing me today. So you all know, obviously, this podcast is recorded with video and I've literally ran out of everything to wear. So they came to my rescue and hopefully they'll do the same for you. So what they usually do is once you fill out their style survey on Instagram, they set you up with your own personal stylist. That stylist will then curate a box to fit any style, any budget, any occasion. The box will get sent straight to your doorstep for you to try on the clothes in the comfort of your own home. The clothes you like, you keep, and the ones that you don't, you simply send back. It is as easy as that. So if you're anything like me, where going to the mall with little kids gives you anxiety, head over to their Instagram account, which is wear.that.now. Fill out their style survey, get your outfits, take some photos, and DM me. I'd love to see them. Happy shopping. Did you know that according to a recent study conducted by the World Economic Forum showed that 80% of adults worldwide are looking to improve their quality of sleep? Which is why my next guest has dedicated her whole life to do just that. Mansi Khandelwal is a third-generation sleep care entrepreneur and the founder of the Sleep Chapter. So for those of you who don't know, the Sleep Chapter manufactures 100% all natural, handcrafted weighted blankets. And she's here with me to talk to me about improving quality of sleep, the importance of a good night's sleep, and how weighted blankets can do just that. So without further ado, Mansi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. And wow, what an introduction. That's amazing.
No,
Thank you.
You are the introduction. It's unbelievable. When I was listening to your background story and I so obviously did a bit of research and a bit of digging and, just to kind of get a full picture of you, I just couldn't believe that it goes back 3 generations.
Yes, it does. It all started as an inspiration from my grandmother.
Wow.
She ran several businesses before she really discovered her passion. So she started making nets for the army when my grandfather was in the army.
Yeah.
She did poultry farming. She did garment manufacturing, also to the extent of beekeeping, till she found her passion for manufacturing and exporting premium luxury bedding.
That's unbelievable.
And I worked with her for several years. So after I finished college, I graduated and started working with her. And I realized that it was not just her, but she had started ingraining this into me as well, and my passion for developing new products.
That's amazing.
And I moved to Dubai.
How long have you been in Dubai?
For nearly 12 years now.
Long time. Yeah, it's a long time.
And fast forward to the pandemic. And, I as a child also have dealt with, sleep issues. And I'm a very light sleeper. So when I started, looking up about weighted blankets, and at that time during the pandemic, there was a lot of uncertainty.
Of course.
There was a lot of anxiety. And I fumbled upon weighted blankets.
Is that when you started?
Yeah. So it's how I started.
Okay.
And I ordered these weighted blankets. The weighted blankets have been around for 30 years now. They've been around for a very long time. I ordered these weighted blankets and I tried it on myself. I didn't really like how it felt on my body, but I liked the way it made me sleep. It did take me a couple of days to sleep better, but I did to adjust to it and to sleep better. And that's how really Sleep Chapter began. So it took us nearly a year and a half before we could arrive at the perfect prototype, which we now have.
That's amazing.
And that's how this is the journey of the Sleep Chapter.
And you, I was reading that you have different, again, I don't know much about weighted blankets, but I know that they are very much been recommended by sleep experts, by medical professionals, by even the wellness industry as well. And I think it goes into like a spectrum, whether it's a weighted blanket for adults and for children.
That's right. So
did you start with adults and then migrated to children, or it was all at the same time?
So, being a mother of 2, I do understand the importance of sleep and how right from not just us, but if our kids can sleep better, we sleep better.
1000%. I think sleep Sleep and parenting, I mean, it's like trying to find the holy grail.
Exactly.
The sleep, I feel when I was, I mean, even now, the majority of the time moms get together and they're always talking about some sort of sleep thing, whether it's like, oh, my toddler woke up, or it was my baby, or somebody came into our bed, or sleep has always been on the forefront of parenting, I find.
Because sleep today is the most crucial bit of the growth and overall development in kids.
Yeah.
They sleep better. They academically are better.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're more attentive. They're playful. They're happy. They're in a better mood throughout the day. So you're in a better mood throughout the day.
Yeah.
And, it's weighted blanket basically acts like a soothing hug.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, in terms of the actual technology behind weighted blankets, what is it? I mean, is it just a matter of a blanket that has weights in it? Or, I mean, is it varying weights, or how does it work?
So the magic of sleep science is really in its weight.
Okay.
So weighted blankets use something called as deep pressure therapy that puts gentle pressure all over your body that gives you that feeling of a hug. So it's literally like when somebody puts their hand on your shoulder and you are unable to unwind and really drift off. That soothing touch, that comforting touch of somebody's hand on your shoulder just helps you sleep. Weighted blanket just does exactly that. So that gentle pressure all over your body just suddenly starts calming you down, helping you feel better and drift off easily, naturally, without a pill at sight.
And that, again, I'm always going to go back to, so that's for adults. And then also, is it the same type of thing for children?
Yes.
Yeah.
So weighted blankets for kids obviously come in various sizes and various weights. And as a rule of thumb, we say weighted blankets should be nearly 10% of their body weight.
Okay.
Our weighted blankets start at 3, and we recommend weighted blankets from 3 years and above because the child should be able to remove the blanket on their own due to the weight.
Yeah. Okay. And it's the same for adults, so 10%.
Yes.
10% of the adult's weight.
10 to 15% ideally, but we say 10%.
Okay.
If you are a first-time user, start lighter. Once your body starts getting accustomed to the weight, then you gradually move up.
I see. So it's not like the heavier the better.
No. So the added benefits, the added weight is not going to give you the added benefit. That's a myth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, so what are the benefits? I mean, again, it is, you said that weighted blankets have been around for 20 years? Around?
Over 30 years.
Over 30 years. But now you find it quite trending, isn't it? Now I feel like there is a popularity that's coming up, when it comes to weighted blankets. But I don't think people know exactly why does one need it? Is it just a matter of comfort? I mean, why would anyone opt for a weighted blanket as opposed to a regular duvet or a regular blanket?
So weighted blankets have been used traditionally by occupational therapists all these years.
Okay.
And they've done very well, for children on the spectrum with ADHD, sensory difficulties. Recently, they've become popular because now with our modern lifestyle, we all deal with stress, the anxiety, the depression, and that just the weight from a weighted blanket. It's like a massage. When you go for a massage, that gentle pressure of the hand suddenly makes you feel relaxed, calmer, and you feel better after the massage. So weighted blanket, the weight puts that gentle pressure, suddenly makes you feel calmer, and you drift off easily.
And it's in terms of, for example, for children, when it comes to weighted blankets and improving their quality of sleep, what is the general, were they always, I mean, like you said, with occupational therapists, have they always been using it even with children?
So they've been being used for children and for adults.
Okay.
And while weighted blanket, what it does is it increases the production of serotonin, melatonin, which is your happy hormones and your sleepy hormones, and reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which helps you feel less stressed, relaxed, less anxiety, less tossing and turning. So it gives you that grounding effect, even for kids, sleep disturbances for children with sensory sensitivities can have a lot of sleep disturbances. The grounding effect a weighted blanket does with the weight, it stops you from really tossing and turning in bed and gives you that feeling of comfort, security.
It's that security.
It's like a safety blanket for them.
Absolutely. And it's like you said, it's this grounding feeling where you don't, if this restlessness. I remember, to be honest, it was, I think after I had a baby, there was this feeling of restlessness that I could, and of course it's probably because I had one eye, ear, half my body trying to focus on the baby, but I couldn't feel a sense of calm, even when the baby had slept and it's in the middle of the night. And I did feel so restless. And it was just this thing. And I knew that they were around, but it was just, I guess, I don't know. It never came to me. And I think it's just getting conversations out there. It's very important to know that there are sleep aids, and one of them is a weighted blanket.
Yeah. So, this is a natural sleep aid, while you do have a lot of different sleep accessories out there. And there has been tremendous innovation and in the sleep industry. Initially we all slept on regular mattresses, pillows. Now you have, white noise speakers, you have mattresses and all kinds of mattresses. You have, nowadays people are talking about AI powered mattresses.
They are?
Yes. So the new invention now is going to be the AI powered mattresses.
Oh.
And
what does that entail? Do you know?
Well, I don't really have much detail on it, but I am very excited because for us, in the sleep industry, we're continuously at the sleep chapter wanting to create products that involve the science, the latest technology in the latest science field, and incorporate these products, which not just, are a product by itself, but also align with comfort, sustainability, and that sensory sensitivities.
I like it. It's, when you say, in the sleep industry, I find it's so fascinating. That whole industry fascinates me because sleep is such a fundamental part of our lives. Yet, again, I read a really worrying statistic. I can't remember the exact number, but it showed that a massive number of people are not sleeping. And especially within our generation. I don't know what happened, whether it's the rise of social media or screens or whatever it might be, but we are not sleeping.
That is very true. Our current modern lifestyles that we lead, our busy, hectic schedules. And of course, screens have taken over our lives. Sleep is a cornerstone to leading a healthy lifestyle, but it also demands, choosing the right material surrounding us. It's not just
the right environment.
It's the environment. Also, we firmly believe that the quality of materials that you put on your body while going to bed plays a significant role in your quality of sleep. So that's why we at the sleep chapter only believe in using natural and organic fabrics, which are soft, breathable. They don't overheat your body at night and make you sleep better.
This was another thing. A lot of the times, obviously, especially when it comes to children, breathable fabrics, the weight of the blanket. Is there anything that we, as parents need to take in consideration when it comes to safety? There's all these guidelines when it comes to children sleeping. I think it's more babies because you said you have an age.
That's right.
Yeah. So safety wise, in terms of kids' weighted blankets, is there anything that parents need to be aware of?
So again, it must be 10% of their body weight, ideally a pound or two more.
Okay.
Opt for breathable and natural fabrics. They, allow the child to sleep better. They do not overheat. The child doesn't overheat during bedtime.
Aside from that, it's standard safe.
It's pretty much safe because, we also use there are many different kinds of weighted blankets. They're filled with sand, they're filled with pellets.
This is what I was going to ask you. So what are they actually filled with? I think naturally people think they're just like magnets. I don't know. I mean, that's how I imagine it.
So we have two different kinds of weighted blankets. One, it has sewn-in pockets which are filled with microfiber glass beads that are hypoallergenic, shatterproof, safe, noiseless, lead-free, non-toxic.
Fantastic.
And the other one is a hand-knitted weighted blanket. So it involves an innovative approach of knitting the blanket by achieving the same amount of weight. So it's just made from yards and yards of organic cotton. So it's like that comfy hug without letting you get hot at night.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. I don't know why in my brain, I just naturally thought, okay, weighted blankets, they have like almost like discs, like disc, sort of, I don't know, magnets, but I don't know what it is. It's just the lack of education, but that's so interesting.
That is. And we have a beautiful story behind our hand-knitted weighted blankets, which is our limited edition collection as well. So this is during the pandemic. A few women approached us with remarkable knitting skills. And it was that time when there was a lot of job loss. And these women were determined to support their families. Now, from starting with just 3 artisans, today our community has grown to 40 artisans.
Wow.
And they have passed down this skill. And these women pour their heart and soul into knitting these beautiful blankets, and they have a knit pattern that allows for enough airflow, which is breathable because it's made from organic cotton. It's breathable, it's soft, and it just reminds you of your grandma's sweater.
Oh gosh, what better way to describe it? That's amazing. I wanted to obviously, again, you mentioned briefly that the benefits of weighted blankets for things, sort of anxiety, and specifically I was going to address sort of weighted blankets in certain sleep disorders, and how can that, whether it's insomnia or anxiety or any other sleep disturbance, what is it about the weight that kind of allows your nervous system to kind of calm down at that point or sleep a bit deeper?
So it's the even weight distribution of the weighted blankets, the pressure therapy that puts that gentle pressure all over your body, which helps calms your nerve, and it releases, triggers the release of neurotransmitters like serotonin and melatonin, that is your sleepy hormones, helping you sleep, get that sense of calmness, relaxation, and just promotes better sleep. It also, when you talk about reduced anxiety and stress, it's your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. So that cocoon-like sensation, the hug-like feeling, gives you, fosters those feeling of the calmness and helps you drift off and sleep better, feel calmer naturally.
And how would it work for kids? So for example, would you elaborate on kids, for example, with sort of autism or ADHD or any, sort of sensory disorder? I mean, how does it work in the same
So it
pathway?
pretty much works with the same, weighted blankets work on pressure therapy. Now, we do understand that children with sensory, sensitivities, they do face sleep disturbances is one of the common phenomena. They do, achieving that sense of calm can be quite challenging. And it's that hug-like feeling that gives them that comfort, the security, and the even weight distribution that just calms their nerves, settling them in, helping them unwind, that helps them sleep better and promotes that better sleep for them.
When you came up with the weighted blanket, were you like their test subject?
Well, my husband's always been the guinea pig.
Oh, has he? Okay.
So he is a tech geek. While, it was when he said that it's a blanket, maybe it helps you sleep better, but what are chances that it's going to help Dubai sleep better or people sleep better? And, during the pandemic, there was this article that said in the Khaleej Times where 80% of Dubai was wasn't sleeping better.
No, of course.
And we do spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping better. So if you are one of really those who loves to track their sleep, which my husband is,
to track their
sleep.
I don't know how to do that. I should get into it. Yeah.
So you can track your sleep and you realize the days you use a regular weighted blanket. No, sorry.
Yeah.
When you use a regular blanket, you sleep perhaps 30 minutes into deep sleep. Okay. However, using a weighted blanket increases your overall sleep quality by nearly 70%.
That's amazing.
It is.
That's actually amazing.
So weighted blankets,
tried and tested, right?
It is.
By your husband.
And weighted blankets recently have become so popular because it helps people feel more calm, more relaxed, and just help you sleep better.
Well, I mean, that's essentially it. I mean, once you sleep better, everything kind of gets, I mean, sleep has such a knock-on effect on everything, whether it's hormones, whether it's energy, whether it's lifestyle, whether mood, depression. Sleep is fundamental. It is. You cannot go through life with little sleep or poor quality of sleep. So the fact that, you've got the science that is backing you up when it comes to your deep sleep. I'm not really a sleep expert, but I know that there are different stages of sleep. So the desired stage of sleep, if that is going to be something that promotes a really good quality version of that, yeah, it's amazing. Was that the goal initially when you started off to just?
So when it could help me sleep better, and it was a game changer for me, it was, why not help others sleep better as well? And you're right. Sleep is pretty much the cornerstone to leading a healthy lifestyle. And poor quality of sleep, it's known that poor quality of sleep can increase the risk of heart attacks, weight gain, and also stroke by up to 200%.
It's unbelievable.
So today, when you're struggling with, weight gain and people go crazy exercising and you're working really hard, but you only get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And you realize that even despite all the efforts being put in, you're not achieving your targets or goals. It's mostly because of lack of sleep.
Absolutely. I've had, almost 50 people sit across the table, many, many in the healthcare space. And in all realms of care, sleep has been mentioned. It's unbelievable. No pun intended, but the weight that sleep has, it's not something to be taken lightly. And it is something that has to be cultivated and worked into a proper way. The way that you sleep, the way that you fall asleep, the way that you stay asleep is very, very important. And on literally we've had between functional medicine, between mental health, between fertility, between you name it, sleep has become and has been placed at such high emphasis. So it's really wonderful.
It is. And, that is one of our biggest mission. Our bodies like the routine, and most of us really do not give it the importance. So at Sleep Chapter, we are really on a mission to create that awareness and education on the importance of sleep and make it more accessible. So many people feel like sleep is a luxury and not a necessity. But at Sleep Chapter, we want people to feel sleep to feel less like of a luxury and more really of a necessity.
Absolutely. Now let's get into it. So now you've got blankets of various different weights for children and various different weights for adults.
That's right.
Also various different sizes, I saw. And is that depending on how you are? I mean, if I was to go into the Sleep Chapter website and to order, how would one know what they need? Is it like you need a blanket I know it sounds really random, but to cover the whole bed? Is it just for you? Was it like picking out a regular duvet? Obviously with the weight component, it's a bit different. So how would one pick the right weighted blanket?
So we say to harness the maximum benefits from a weighted blanket, choose a weighted blanket that's 10% of your body weight. Now we have various different materials, natural fabrics such as cotton, which is soft and breathable, again, can be used year round. We have velvet for people who want that plush and luxurious touch.
Yeah.
And then we have bamboo, which is ideal for hot sleepers. It's known to be temperature regulating. It's hypoallergenic. It's also has antibacterial properties. So ideal for people who have sensitive skin.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we have a hand knitted weighted blankets, and which has that knit pattern, which allows for a lot of airflow. So if you are ideally a hot sleeper, then we would say pick a bamboo or a hand knitted weighted blanket.
Okay. Are people able to consult with you to find the right one? How would it work?
All our details are on our website.
Yeah.
You can either message us on Instagram
Yeah.
or call us immediately, or on WhatsApp. We are available.
Well, that's the thing, because I feel like it's not, because usually, traditionally, blankets or duvets, you go by togs. Is it the same with a weighted blanket?
So with weighted blanket, it goes by the different weights.
Okay. Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
so while we say, if you're, between 50 to 60, 65, 70 kgs, opt for a 5 kg weighted blanket. Between 70 to 85, 90, opt for a 7 kg blanket, and so on. We've recently introduced a 10 kg blanket. So we have 10 kgs and 14 kg blankets, which is a sharing blanket.
A sharing.
So
okay.
we love the valuable feedback we get from our customers.
Yeah.
And initially we had only 14 kg blanket. Now a 10 kg as a standard has never been done before.
Okay.
And one of our customers said, what if I am a 5 kg and my husband's 7? How do we proportionate that?
Yeah.
I said, that is an amazing feedback, and we love incorporating all the feedback we get from our customers. And that is something we incorporated, and now we have a 10 kg in the bamboo blanket where,
it's kind of you distribute it across the two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So weighted blankets are also not as big as the regular comforters, which is end to end of the bed.
Okay.
Ideally, it's supposed to cover your body and a little more.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So we want the weight to be evenly distributed around your body versus it getting displaced.
I've got another question for you. Is the weighted blanket, does it go on top of your current duvet? No.
Well, ideally, a weighted blanket should be placed alone
on your
skin.
Okay.
Just remember never to cover your neck and face.
Okay.
So if you are a first-time user, you can gradually introduce it into your sleep routine. You can start by placing it on your legs and then gradually move up as your body starts getting accustomed to it. Some people take to the weight almost immediately. Some take a little while to get used to it. And that's when we say gradually start introducing it into your routine.
Okay. So it goes onto you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had this idea of, again, weighted blankets going on. It's like almost like a top layer on top of your, top of your current existing bedding.
Well, it's supposed to be. So if you do that, that typically means that the weight that you've chosen isn't right for you.
Ah, okay.
So either you've gone too light. A lot of people end up going too heavy. We have customers sometimes who order a 14 kg blanket. And that, now what we've started incorporating is when people purchase a 14 kg blanket, we immediately call them up to know that whether it's a single use or is it a sharing blanket.
Well, okay, if it is too heavy, is it just uncomfortable?
Well, weighted blankets are just meant to be comfortable. It isn't meant to make you feel bogged down.
Got you.
So if you are feeling bogged down under a blanket or too hot, either your weight is incorrect or maybe that weighted blanket that you've chosen is not the correct one for you. So you can always reach out
and get it like a proper, you should open up like a consulting, line that people, because honestly, even me, I'm not really sure. And it's one of those things that I want to get them, but also at the same time, I don't really know. And it's a bit confusing, to be honest.
So we do have, on a constant basis, we have a lot of education and awareness that we keep constantly, putting up on our Instagram platform. And
yeah, you do. Guys, the sleep chapter has a lot of incredible information. So definitely head there. Yeah.
So when we, introduced weighted blankets into Dubai, we realized that not many people have heard of it. And I think we're the only ones doing weighted blankets in Dubai.
I think so too.
And so the prime motive was to create that education and awareness, not just about our product, but more importantly, on the importance of sleep and how, natural sleep aid products can help you sleep better.
Okay, now talk to me about the material. So 100% all natural.
That's right.
So that is across the range. So whether that is the bamboo, cotton, and you said velvet?
Velvet.
Okay.
So it's cotton velvet.
Yeah.
We don't believe in any kind of synthetic fibers that, natural fibers have its own impact on your sleep quality. It's temperature regulating. It gives you that gentle hug kind feeling. And more importantly, it feels great on the skin. You feel more comfortable with it.
Soft.
It's soft.
Not, yeah. That's very important because again, it's, to be comfortable when you're sleeping, it's so difficult. I mean, if you are uncomfortable slightly, forget that night's sleep. That's not going to work. That's
true. And they also say, there's a recent study that says that typically by 2 or 3 a.m., the maximum sleep disturbances happen. So you drift off into deep sleep by, let's say, around 10. Yeah. And then by around 2, 3, your sleep pattern starts getting lighter and the sleep disturbances start happening. So what we want to do is to help you sleep better, to ensure that we make sure that you're using all kinds of natural and breathable fabric that does not allow for the sleep disturbances to happen. And allowing even during those times for you to sleep, even during those times when the sleep disturbances happen, to just be able to fall back to sleep almost immediately.
That's incredible. At this point, do you think that having a weighted blanket, I guess what I want to say is a weighted blanket a luxury or is it a staple in somebody's home? I think people can argue both sides when they, think, oh, okay, yes, weighted blankets, it might be a little bit more of a luxury, but I feel like at this point, it's more like a necessity. Like you should incorporate a weighted blanket in every home.
That's absolutely correct. While sleep, for us at the sleep chapter, we understand the importance of sleep. And we firmly believe that investing in a weighted blanket, is not just a purchase, but it's your investment towards your sleep journey.
What would you say was the most difficult part of this journey for you? I guess even your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, I think, weighted blankets and just in general, sleeping better has been a game changer for me and my family. And initially it was all about how is it that I can bring forth the most premium, the most luxurious product, and at the same time, make it planet friendly.
That's the difficult part.
It really was. It took us it wasn't a hasty decision. It took us nearly a year and a half of constantly developing and creating and researching before we could really arrive at the weighted blankets now you find at the sleep chapter.
That takes a lot of, it's dedication, research. It's not easy. And I find, especially if you're offering it to consumers, unless I feel like you've got it perfect, it won't work. And it's brilliant. It's a lot of hard work and effort.
And honestly, we only want to give them the best. We say your sleep is our priority. And we've made, even when you develop products for kids, there's a certain sense of responsibility.
Absolutely.
So the safety, right from product features to safety, it's our top priority to ensure that everyone sleeps better, one blanket at a time.
What would you say has been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
When people really call us and say, you know what, we couldn't really sleep. And I was really struggling with sleep until I fumbled upon your weighted blanket and I've been using it for a month and my sleep pattern has changed. I'm sleeping so much better now. I'm in a better mood. I feel calmer. I'm feeling more productive, more creative. I'm being able to do so much more, you know. There are times where there was somebody who reached out to us and saying, you know, if something went even slightly wrong, I would get very nervous and it would throw me off the boat. Now I approach situations much calmer.
Because I've had a proper night's sleep.
Yeah. And they're achieving their target goals, whether it's exercise or going to work. There's a lot more calm. There's a lot more happiness.
Do you sleep with one every night?
Yes, I do. And so does my entire family.
That's brilliant.
It's been a game changer for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I just find it so fascinating, honestly. You know, these things, you know, the fact that it's moved from for example, a more clinical setting, like an OT, you know, clinic or whatever it is, and now can be placed in your home. We live in a very, very cool world, you know, where we can incorporate that and we can potentially have people such as yourself providing that type of product, because like you said, I think you are the only one in the UAE doing it. So as a homegrown business,
it pretty much is.
There are so many times where sleep is not, you know, going according to plan, and people are on sleep medication or on whatever it might be. And it could be as simple as, you know, get the temperature of the room right, get a weighted blanket, you know, have that time, you know, to de-escalate and to come down and really form a sleep routine. And it doesn't, you know, it's these things are attainable now, which is very, very interesting. But my question for you is, when it comes to, again, we live here. So obviously, you know, we have ACs throughout the year. Whether it's in the summer or the winter, I find the internal sort of ambient temperature is quite the same. But when it comes to, for example, picking the right blanket in terms of warmth, how does that work when it comes to weighted blankets?
So we have weighted blankets made from natural and organic fabrics, which are breathable, soft, durable. So if you pick, you know, a cotton and a velvet blanket, can be used year round. A bamboo, which is known for temperature regulating, it has antibacterial, it's hypoallergenic. It's good for people with sensitive skin, hot sleepers.
Okay. Bamboo.
And bamboo.
Okay.
So our weighted blankets are actually made in 7 layers. You can't feel it.
7 layers.
It's made in 7 layers.
Okay.
But it defies the notion that more layers means more warmth.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
So it actually is super comfy, but also not, you know, doesn't let your body heat up at night. So basically it's breathable, allowing your body to breathe, and gives you that feeling of comfort and a hug. And at the same time, without overheating.
That's amazing. So all of the blankets have 7 layers?
So except for the hand knitted, because that's knitted into layers, and we've achieved the same amount of weight that we've done with the pockets with the microfiber glass bead weight. But that's essentially right.
Oh, wow.
So the ones with glass beads are actually made in 7 layers.
Do you get these manufactured here?
So we have our own manufacturing unit in India. And we manufacture our own blankets. They're printed in-house. Our factory is 90% automated, and we conserve 70% of the water we use.
That's amazing. So sustainability, you know, breathable fabrics. Oh, that's amazing. And in terms of, for example, so you basically have, I guess, is it like you have stock that people can choose from, or is it made per order kind of thing?
So we do have stocks, but we do personalization as well. We are open to doing any kind of personalization. Our team members are ready to take you on board and assist you through the journey.
In terms of your actual entrepreneurial journey, did you start this as just with your family, or was it just you kind of went off on a tangent and said, you know what, I'm going to try weighted blankets?
So this is pretty much a family business.
Yeah.
After my grandmom, now my mom looks after the production. My brother manages the exports because we're also exporters. And the sleep chapter is pretty much my baby.
Yeah.
And I love developing new products. So I'm constantly, so we started with weighted blankets and now we're introducing a lot more products that are, in the various aspects of wellness and sleep science.
That's amazing. I'm very excited to see the new products. At the moment, you're only working with the blankets.
So we have weighted blankets. Yeah. We also have sleep accessories like lap pads and shoulder wraps. Yeah. So we say when you can't really carry your weighted blanket everywhere, you can take the lap pads to work. So it helps people focus better.
You put it on your lap and while you're at your desk.
While you're at your desk. So even for people who have restless leg syndrome,
yeah,
which is the RLS,
yeah,
and it helps you feel calmer and feel, be more focused and productive at work.
And so lap pads and?
We have shoulder wraps. So while you can use them while you're traveling, it's versatile. You can take it to work. You can be reading, lounging, meditating with it. And it gives you that little pressure over your shoulders. It's like a massage, constant massage.
This is amazing. This is actually amazing.
Thank you.
No, it's really, it's so wonderful. I find this whole space is just exciting and I'm so looking forward to, I feel like you've got a lot bubbling up as well.
It is.
Are you heavily involved in the sort of production and research and all of that?
Yes, I am. So, while we did start only with weighted blankets, now when we are constantly evolving, developing, creating products, because we do understand that while weighted blankets, we want to cater to all individual preferences and we want people to, create ranges that resonate with all age groups.
That might be hard. Do you not find that quite challenging to cater to people and to all different sort of ages and, lifestyles and things like that? It's a difficult one. How do you manage it?
Well, it's a passion and here we are to help you sleep better. So whatever it takes to help you sleep better, whether it's a lap pad or be focused or whether using a shoulder wrap, for people with stiff neck or, when you come back, like my husband has a desk job, he is into finance. And when you come back home, you want that, that lovely shoulder. Little massage. Yeah. So it helps you feel better. So it's not just, helping you sleep better, but also wanting to make you feel better and feel calmer.
That's it. What's your sleep routine? I'm sure everyone's going to be like, oh, but she manufactures all this incredible stuff to help everyone sleep. Well, how does she do it?
Well, I am, trying to get into a good sleep routine and good sleep hygiene, but I do try to get to bed every day by 10:30. Okay. And I'm being a mom of two. I'm up by 5:30.
Same. Same. My God, I've got the same type of thing. And I find a lot of it is switching off whatever it is an hour before. I try. I mean, there's sometimes I get sucked into whatever I'm watching or whatever it is. But yeah, just sort of switch off whatever I can an hour before, get into bed, read. And there's no way I can get into bed and then lights out. It's impossible. So yeah, it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. But now you've got mom of two, entrepreneur, how do you ever take time for self-care and things like that, running a business? I mean, what do you do for self-care?
So, well, typically my self-care involves, going to the gym. Yeah. One day in the weekend, taking a day off. I firmly believe in exercising.
Yeah. Being active.
Being active helps you feel, sleep better through the night. Limiting the amount of caffeine, after a certain time, like I do not drink coffee after 3 or 4 p.m. Yeah. And reducing the intake of alcohol, that also plays a big role in terms of the impact it plays on your overall sleep quality.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. And in terms of, again, when you hear people say, oh no, weighted blankets are a luxury, they're not a necessity, what would your response be to them?
Well, it is an investment in your wellness journey.
I love that.
So while, weighted blankets can be a real investment, but we do feel, we say that, when you buy a weighted blanket from the sleep chapter, it's not just an accessory you're purchasing. It's, and a conscious decision you've made towards investing in your well-being.
I love that. And your well-being is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Yeah.
Sleep is not a loan.
No.
You can't, repay that debt at a later stage. If you've missed it, you missed the boat.
Yeah. And it's a bad boat to miss.
It really
You
is.
don't want to be missing that boat. No, for sure. What do you think is next for the sleep chapter?
So we're constantly experimenting and developing new products. So beyond blankets, be prepared to now see a lot more new products coming in this year. Constantly, educating people on the importance and awareness of sleep. Building a community, that's something that I'm really passionate about doing, is building a community.
Yeah, you're very active in that regard. Yeah.
And just that people can come and share tips, experiences, and talk about, the way they feel and how they can achieve better sleep.
Yeah.
And customer feedback is so important to us, throughout the journey. We're listening. We're willing to evolve. We're willing to learn. And your valuable feedback means a lot to us.
Absolutely. No, well, it's brilliant. I've got mine at home. I can't wait to try it. I was waiting to get all the information before I I'm going to do it all properly tonight. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. So when people go on to try to order their weighted blankets, they need to keep in mind that it is 10% of their body weight, and that there is a difference between sizes, whether it's shared or single or children's. And then you've got different materials and all of that. But
that's right.
Yeah.
But we have a standard size for solo sleepers, and then we have a standard size for a sharing blanket.
Okay.
And a lot of information, guidelines, safety, product features are mentioned on the website. And if you do have any kind of concerns, you can always reach out to us. We're always available. We're always here to help.
Absolutely. And where can people go to get their weighted blankets?
So you can come visit us. We look forward to seeing people.
You have a showroom?
We do.
Okay.
It's at Binary Tower.
Fantastic.
And you can come, touch, feel, experience a weighted blanket.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing people.
And you also have your online.
We do have it online as well.
Yeah. And on your Instagram, you've created a wonderful space where it is very much, there's so much research that goes into these, and you've got so much supporting features on the weighted blanket and on the Sleep Chapter's Instagram page, which is amazing. So you guys have to check it out.
Thank you. And we've also now recently created a sleep soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
So we have our own Sleep Chapter soundtrack on our Instagram page.
Is that like white noise?
Yes, it pretty much is. So when you do want to really unwind and you really can't think of, the kind of music you want to listen to, you can always get onto our Instagram page and listen to our sleep soundtrack.
Oh, that's amazing. Guys, you heard it here. Go on to the Sleep Chapter's Instagram page and listen to their sleep soundtrack. That's amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, Mansi, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for explaining. I find, again, when it comes to trends, people are always a bit skeptical. And it does take somebody sitting down and actually going through what it is, debunking, certain things that are probably going to be part of like the skeptics and, that type of thing. But to have you sat here explaining the benefits of weighted blankets, explaining the fact that they're all different types of shapes and sizes, material, and the significance of that. It's very, 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 very helpful.
Thank you so much, Raya, for having me.
Thank you.
And this is one little step towards creating that comforted world.
Absolutely.
One blanket at a time.
Let's get everybody sleeping better, in fact. So yes, it is, you're, making a change. And that's the main thing. Like we said, you can't go without sleep. And this is just supportive. So it's brilliant. Mansi, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for listening to They Say It Takes a Village. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
I look forward to bringing you another one next week. Don't forget, please subscribe, rate, and review so I can reach and help even more parents. And if you've got a topic that you'd like me to cover, please head over to my Instagram page, ittakesavillage.me, and drop me a line.